We are retired and slow traveling through Paris. It's an enormous city and it can get overwhelming. Even in retirement, we need to keep our stress low and exercise up so that we have the stamina we need to keep going. Fortunately, we've learned that whichever part of Paris we're in, we can always chill in a park to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city and get some stress-free leisurely walking in.
We've been on the go a good bit today, and it's nice when we're walking around Paris. Every once in a while we just jut into one of the gardens like the one that we're sitting in now, and it's this respite. It's this beautiful place where you can just sit, relax, and enjoy the beautiful day, and then have a little time before you get back on the road again.
In Japan, the practice of being with nature is called Shinrin-yoku, which means bathing in a forest atmosphere, but any of nature's green spaces will do. It's said to trigger a reduction in heart rate and blood pressure and stress levels. Paris is the greenest city in France with over 480,000 trees. Yes, someone counted them all. Paris also has more than 450 municipal parks, gardens, and green spaces spread across the city. Of these, the most famous are Champs de Mars, Jardin Tuileries, and Jardin du Luxembourg. You will know Champs de Mars because this is the expansive lawn that provides the unbelievable view of the Eiffel Tower. In 1765, it was decided to use this flat ground to practice military maneuvers and to name it the God of War Field, or Champs de Mars. Today, it's all about where the world meets for picnics. The Jardin du Tuileries is another large and well-known garden. The garden, which separates the Louvre from the Place de la Concorde, is a pleasant place for walking and for culture for Parisians and tourists alike. Statues by Rodin and other greats are scattered throughout. The garden's 2 ponds are perfect places to relax by. The Luxembourg Gardens is the second largest park in Paris. The garden belongs to the Luxembourg Palace, built for Marie de Medici, but the palace is now the seat of the French Senate. The garden features beautiful statues of French queens and saints scattered throughout the park. The garden is famous for its calm atmosphere and thus a popular destination for relaxation for Parisians.
Today we're in Paris in the Luxembourg Gardens, which is one of the big gardens you think about when you come to Paris. It's beautiful here. There's a huge space, plenty of seating, and on this beautiful day you can really enjoy sun, shade, anything you want. There are people everywhere here, many university students, and you get a beautiful view of the Luxembourg Castle, which is now used as the French Senate.
While lovely, these gardens are huge and filled with people. We prefer the smaller, less well-known gardens. So here's our list of hidden gem gardens we enjoyed and think you will too. The Coulee Verte is a lush, elevated park built atop a revitalized railroad structure in the 12th arrondissement. Opened in the late 1980s, the lush garden path stretches for 3 miles, with landscapes ranging from modern and manicured to wild and natural. The Greenway provides an unusual panoramic view over the 12th arrondissement. It will remind many of New York City's High Line.
Today we're in Paris, and we're for the first time experiencing the Coulee Verte, which is a beautiful reclaimed railway here in Paris that is now a green space. And it may sound familiar because this is actually what New York's High Line was fashioned after. So we're excited to explore this today.
The Viaduct des Arts, under a section of the Greenway, is a collection of high-end galleries and boutiques created out of the former elevated track. If you have the stamina to walk all the way to the end, then you are rewarded with a chance to spend time in the enormous Bois de Vincennes. Completely enclosed by a palace, the Jardin du Palais Royal is not an obvious garden. It's not one that you would be able to notice from a distance. But it is a perfect spot to sit, rest, and picnic. A double row of trees runs along both sides of the garden and provides cooling outdoor shade. There are 2 stretches of lawns between these rows of trees, and they are bordered with flower beds. It's the southern end of the complex that has become the garden's signature feature. It's polka-dotted with sculptor Daniel Buren's 260 black and white striped columns. If you want a little peace and quiet, lawns, flowers, and local life, then there's a nice little gem near Canal Saint-Martin. There is a playground for children, a sports area for grown-ups, a pond for the birds, a bandstand for musicians, and a large area of lawn for picnickers and sunbathers. Something for everyone. The park was the former site of a convent and a military hospital. Today, the only remnant is a stone gateway at the entrance. The park is steps away from the tree-lined Canal Saint-Martin and one of the most romantic and hip areas of Paris.
We like to find respites in the city, and we found this one today in Paris, not too far from our house. It's a really quaint park that has a lot of nice green space, and this one happens to be next to a river and a jogging path where you can walk, bike, jog. We're going to come here, I think, and work out. It's even got a pavilion that reminds us of San Miguel.
Park Monceau dates back to the 17th century and is situated in the 8th arrondissement. Today, it is one of the most elegant gardens in Paris and a reflection of the wealthy district.
We're at this beautiful park in the 8th. It's a little bit of a walk from the central part of Paris where we're staying, but it's absolutely beautiful. There are a lot of beautiful old mansions and buildings around it. It's a large park with a lot of beautiful infrastructure like what you see behind me.
Walking around the park, you'll find many beautiful surprises, numerous statues, spectacular trees, and a wide variety of birds in a large pond. Just like the others we mentioned, this is a peaceful and pleasant park, visited primarily by local Parisians. But you should drop by as well when you need to get away from the busy center of Paris. You might find us there lounging in the grass. Watch this video to see what's next on our adventures and check out our customizable merchandise store. See you soon!